Hi guys, I'm Darren with Independent.ie, and today in studio we have none other than Ireland's hottest act, Chasing Abbey. They just signed a record deal with Warner Music and Spinnin' Records. Welcome guys.
Hello, well,
How we getting on?
How are we getting on, lads?
Good.
So we have Ro, Teddy and B with us today. They've signed a new deal with Spinnin' Records, and we're here to talk about that and their rise on the scene to be Ireland's top performer now. Or will be. You'll be one day, lads.
Yeah.
So let's just start at the beginning. How did it all happen? How did you guys come together? How did the group form?
Yeah, we started in secondary school. We went to the same school, and we were playing music together a little bit, on and off. But a competition came up on the local radio station, and our school teacher, Miss Hogan, our music teacher, she put us together, and we played. We did a cover of Gnarls Barkley, "Crazy," and in this competition on the radio, and it was our first time actually together, like working on something. We went in and we did it, and we didn't win.
No,
and,
robbed.
we were robbed, yeah. But and then like we kind of, after that, we kind of stayed in touch musically, but like we kind of did other stuff. Like two boys were in a folk band for a little bit. I was in a different folk band. Then we were together in a folk band. And then a few little different musical projects, and then eventually we got together for Chasing Abbey. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And we as friends prior to the group, or did acquaintances and the group formed as friendships?
The two boys were in the same class in school, and I was a few years younger, so they obviously grew up together.
Me and B grew up together.
Same class the whole way up. Yeah. So.
Smart one.
What?
Smart class.
Yeah, definitely.
No, of course. Yeah. And we have a third wheel here. You needed a pretty bass guy.
No, we always say because myself and Ted were in the same music class together, and our music teacher was like, "You should do this music competition."
Missing something.
But we're just missing something, and we're like, "There's." We were like, we know this young fella, he's in a bit of bother. He needs a bit of saving, so
going down the wrong path.
yeah, he's going down the wrong path.
Went down to Spanish and pulled them out.
Yeah.
So it's a very unusual name, Chasing Abbey. How did that come up, or where was the concept and logic behind it?
So, as I said, we had a lot of musical projects before we arrived at Chasing Abbey, and when we started to get into the electronic music, we had no name, so we were just making music, and we nicknamed everything, like every Irish person, I think. But we nicknamed the audience Abbey as kind of a point of reference. It kept us kind of all shooting at the same target. And we would use it in a way where it'd be like, we'd make a tune and we'd be like, oh, well, Abbey like this. And we'd be like, oh, yeah. But if it was bad, we'd be like, oh, Abbey's going to hate this. And we had no name at the time, so we were just using it as a point of reference. But we as every day went on and we went into the studio and we kept on trying to get to this target, we realised that every time we were saying Abbey's going to like this, we were getting closer to the level that we wanted to be. And every day we came in, we were chasing that feeling. We were chasing that feeling of, oh, Abbey's going to love this, Abbey's going to love this. And even to this day, we're still chasing that same level. Like we really always try to do things to the highest level. So that's where the name Chasing Abbey comes from. It's a kind of a standard, it's a reference point to try chase the best out of us.
True north as a band.
Exactly.
True north, correct.
Yeah,
It gives you a vision and a goal oriented.
Yeah.
If you're going to get anywhere in life, you need to know where you're going.
Especially if you're a group with 3 different people, you have to be all aligned.
Pulling the one direction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So contrary to belief, it's not a girl.
No.
Yeah.
You're not chasing the person.
Yeah, I was like, well, probably not nowadays, lads. And you wouldn't have much of a career left.
No. Oh, yeah.
And how did the band finalise? Like, when did you come together at a specific moment? Was there an event that you said, right, lads, let's give this a go, or just organically around and then it formed?
I suppose, as Ted was saying, that we were in a couple of different folk groups, and then we were actually in a folk group together, and that kind of broke down. I just think our love for folk music, not that it died, but that to actually be performing it and writing the stuff, that kind of love kind of died. So we obviously grew up in an era where dance and rap was huge, like among our friends, and so we were obviously known as the music guys in our group of friends, but we'd never actually play the music we were creating to our friends, because probably to them it wasn't that cool. And probably to us, deep down, it probably didn't seem that cool either. So when that folk group that we were in dismantled, we were like, right, we have an opportunity here now to go create something that we actually would listen to ourselves and would listen to with our friends. And there was that moment there that we didn't know that we were creating Chasing Abbey, but that's when the journey started. So yeah, that was probably...
To piggyback off that, what was the first song that we produced that were like, yeah, this is, we can fully get behind it, you can tell it to your friends, show it to your family?
Yeah. I think it was a track called Unbearable,
yeah.
which was like a piano house song, and at the time piano house was all the go.
Yeah.
It still is, it's a very popular genre still, but it was the first one that we fully wrote, produced, actually went, got mixed, mastered the whole
Put up on
shebang,
YouTube, wasn't it?
put up on YouTube. And that was kind of like, I remember at the time when we actually put it out, everyone was like, geez, this is very different for ye and for anyone really in Ireland, because at the time there was no one doing dance music, and there was even rapping and everything and that, but there was especially nobody from the Midlands doing dance music.
There was banjo in it as well.
Yeah, funnily enough, we were putting banjo on tracks back then.
Yeah.
Later on, we got away from that and we're back with the banjo now.
Yeah.
It's funny how things come full circle.
Full circle. A lot of that at the minute.
You seem like a band that's not afraid to experiment and trial and error. Who would be your like inspirations or people that you've looked up to and be like, that's very good, I like the hook on this or the melody on this? Would it be trad or would it be traditional like deep house or house music in general?
Well, and we come from trad backgrounds, all of us. That's when we first started playing music. It was traditional music, Irish music, pretty hardcore. Like it was like that's all we kind of did for a long time.
Long time, yeah.
So like that's kind of where we learned how to play music, and we always say like we've spent the first half of our lives learning trad music, and the second half of our lives learning dance music, and it's like trad is like it's a very good basis to learn music, because it's so, if you're playing trad music, you have to know every single part in terms of what every other instrument is doing, and you have to be able to improvise, and you have to be able to sit in and just pick up an instrument and play. So like that was a great way for us to learn music to begin with. And then as we got a little bit older, we started going into like listening to dance music and really listening to it. But because of our trad background, we're able to say, okay, well the bass is doing this, the keys are doing this, the drums are doing this.
Understand the music that was going on in it, yeah.
So your experience on trad gave you like a holistic view of where to come in, when not to come in.
Exactly. I like a musicality, kind of an understanding of how the music works, and even like grooves and like melodies, and like trad is like I think it's the ultimate teacher. But as well as that, like we would be very influenced by like rock, like bands like Thin Lizzy, like other like rap, like 90s rap, even some like 80s pop like Michael Jackson. Like there's a very wide country music, like there's a wide.
Yeah.
See, when we were playing in folk bands as well, we were mainly cover bands, so like you were going to play for 2 or 3 hours in a pub, so you'd have to play like every sort of crowd pleasing song for those, you know what I mean? So it's going to vary in different genres.
Yeah,
exactly. You learn very quickly why you're
going from the hottest pop song at the minute to the oldest Irish song that people like, and then
that was a great education in itself.
Yeah, it was.
It was. So
well, again, it keeps you keeps you on your toes, and allows you to pivot.
Yeah, definitely.
On a spur of the moment, which I'm sure the open trad sessions are familiar like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
And a high or a low,
could go anywhere.
Have to follow the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Of all the Irish acts at the moment, who would you most like to collaborate with?
We've been kind of talking about that a little bit recently with our trad house that we've going on at the minute. We're kind of saying, I think Hosier would sound savage on one of those, or maybe Dermot Kennedy as well.
Yeah, Hosier, yeah, he has that with them.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, for sure.
Hosier on a trad house would be crazy.
Yeah.
So, trad house, it's probably self-explanatory, but how would you encapsulate it? What exactly is trad house for someone that wouldn't know about it?
Yeah, well, I guess it's like literally it's traditional Irish music mixed with house music or dance music. And it's a little bit different to, say, if you take a trad song if you take, say, contemporary music and make it trad. This is where you actually take a trad song, like the melodies and the lyrics, and you keep the lyrics and the melodies, and you add in a banjo and you add in a banjo and those melodies, and you actually add house music to it. So it's a little bit different in the sense that it's kind of the opposite of what's been done loads of times before. So it's like it's keeping the melodies and the feeling of trad, but giving it a modern feel and a kind of I think that translates to a whole new audience of people. And even with Oh My Johnny, our new single, that song Banks of the Roses, like that song has been around for hundreds of years. Like I've been singing that song since I was maybe 4 years old. And so it's like to be able to present that song to our generation, people who have never heard that song in this format it's a great honor for us, and you know, it's something we take very seriously, passing on that. Yeah.
Speaking about honor, obviously it's a very I'm assuming patriotic in being a trad band. What was it like to have your song played at the All Ireland final?
I was up at it. Yeah, I was there, and I kind of had word that it might be played, so we were sitting there kind of waiting and hoping it come on, and then you just started hearing it kind of come through, rumbling around the stadium, and then we're like, oh, this is it, and just listening to him, kind of watching people's reactions and stuff, and taking in the atmosphere in Croke Park. Like, it's like, what a stadium. And the bay, like, it was hopping out. It was proper loud, and then we were getting sent videos, people could hear it through the telly, and the boys were watching it at home.
I was at home, I was cooking some food, all my family around, and the teams were being announced, and they were like, is that?
Yeah.
And it was a really nice
surreal moment. You could kind of hear in your question, is it? And then this is mad. It was, and it was cool.
Because Croke Park is like the holy grail.
For sure.
To have your song there. Hopefully one day is actually get to play there.
Exactly. Yes, that is the
goal. What was it like getting to play festivals in the US? That's obviously America for anyone. What was it like actually getting over there, and how did the audience actually respond to like trad house? They necessarily wouldn't have any experience with trad.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was funny because I think maybe 70% of the people there were Irish. So
before the first trad song that we were playing, I said into the mic, I was like, is there anyone from Ireland here? And then most of the crowd were like, it was like,
find them anywhere, wouldn't you?
Anywhere. I wonder were they real Irish or quarter or
I don't know.
We'll never know.
But they responded really well to the
it was savage over there.
When Byrne Music got in contact with you, what was your initial thoughts when there was a possibility that you were going to get signed?
I suppose we've had a deal or two before, so we actually didn't get too excited. I don't think it was kind of because like with any sort of business, it takes time to get a deal done. So we didn't get too excited, but
especially the music industry. I believe it when it happened. Kind of thing.
I think before we nearly would have got carried away with things, but when Oh My Johnny was going well, and we're like, okay, all this is going on around us, like with labels or whatever, but we had a clear vision of we kind of knew what path we needed to keep going down, and we said don't want to get too distracted with the noise, especially in the business side of things. We made more trad house tunes, and we were in a vibe at that time, so
we were surprised through that it was trad house that really caught the attention.
Yeah, big time.
Didn't really expect trad to have international audience, but it's funny because our label is based in Amsterdam, and when you ask them what do they hear when they listen to trad house, they just say just dance music. So it doesn't to Irish people it sounds like trad house, but I think to most people in Europe and around the world, it's just like dance music, maybe kind of a hint of country or something, but it's just a dance record. Really.
Well, I think with dance, obviously, because it's such a broad genre, like as you said earlier on, you'd have piano dance.
Yeah.
So
you've got so many sub-genres.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a box. You're not boxed in.
No, you're not.
People outside, it does expand to wider market.
I think what caught their ears really with it as well was obviously to us, as Ted was saying, because it's an Irish melody, but obviously if you're from Europe, it just sounds unique. It just sounds, it still sounds really pop in a way, or it works with dance music. But obviously it's just so different because it's from 1800s. You know what I mean?
It's a fresh idea.
Yeah, and
it's fresh.
Yeah, to finish on that, obviously initially we didn't get too excited, but then when the paper was in front of us to sign, it was an extremely proud moment, as to say Trad House, like how we couldn't believe that we were doing it with Trad House. So we were very proud to bring it to a world,
and
world stage.
It was with the dance label Spinning, who are part of Warner, but we kind of, when we were first getting into dance music and all, like we would have been seeing the music videos with the Spinning logo, like their YouTube scene is crazy, huge. So when we got the contract and the Spinning logo was up, you know, the iconic black with the white S, and
You made it,
we were like, wow, this is this is a cool moment.
The countries.
When you finally signed the paper, did you just have any big blowout, or did you just do anything, or was it just like back to work?
That night, actually, when we signed the contract, we actually went to a trad session that night, and we just joined in on a trad session, and we didn't actually.
It felt right.
We didn't actually go too crazy.
No, we were in the studio the next day.
Yeah, so.
But we will have a party.
We've just been so busy.
Yeah.
We haven't had the time to actually go on a proper one.
It's kind of a weird one too, because like when you sign the deal, you can celebrate that you signed the deal, but you kind of there's nothing really to celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, all you've done is sign the sheet.
You've
like,
kind of
you know, you want
You want it in the door.
exactly. You want the song to blow up and be at a point where you're celebrating the song doing well. Like,
Yeah, that's probably more meaningful than signing a contract. Is when you have a number one song. That's when you can go, right,
I'm going to have no drink.
pat yourself in the bag now.
And in terms of like individually, probably we'll ask this question. What was the most like meaningful moment that you've had in terms of like, was it be like your songs being on social? Would it be one of your old teachers or friends saying, I've seen this is cool? Would it be Crow Park? Would it be signing the label? Like, what was your one thing like, Jays, this is actually starting to
With the
take
new
off?
track.
No, just in general, when you realised you were actually building up momentum
Doing something.
and he's had a base and you're like, we're doing something here.
Yeah,
I can feel it. I
think for me anyways, like obviously at the very start it was unbelievable and it was happening quite quick with our first couple of tracks, but then like with COVID and stuff, and like the last kind of 3-4 years we've been trying to find like, you know, our next big song and stuff like that, and it was quite challenging and tough at times when we weren't at the same kind of peak of where we were when we first started. So kind of being there again and seeing the songs connecting with people on the same level as it did back in the day for us, I think just kind of bringing it back again. There was probably, I don't know, you kind of go through a bit of doubt during the couple of years, where you're like in the studio every day but nothing's working, nothing's connecting. So to be out the other side of that at the minute and seeing the track connecting with people, I think that's like, geez, we did it again, like, or we still have it.
For me, it's actually not what you do.
That's a good one. I'd agree as well. It's similar. For me, I think with Trad House, I've noticed that I have a better relationship with my family in terms of we chat about music a lot more. See, I come from a trad family, but before we were doing Trad House, they didn't really understand the dance aspect, you know, the rap kind of thing. So I never really could have musical conversations with my family. But recently, because Trad House, and they understand trad music, and I can go to them and ask them about trad music. So those conversations kind of made me feel like, right, I'm really doing the right thing, and it just felt right to me, like for probably the most right music has ever felt, because I was able to have these conversations and get feedback from people, you know, my family. So that when I was able to have those conversations, I was like, wow, this is new, and I really like it. So yeah, that was big for me.
Yeah, nice. I totally agree with the boys. A hard topic, I think, but probably to go back maybe pre-COVID. So as we said, we were in multiple bands before Chasing Abbey, and we're used to playing to like small numbers of people. And then when Chasing Abbey started, we were on the festival scene, all that crack. John, the first few shows were going good, but then I remember there was a point where we were playing, I can't remember what festival it was, and it was about 5 minutes before we go on stage in a tent, and you have a little peek out, and the tent was fairly empty, like there was kind of no one there, and we're like, right, so we'll go out here and we'll win these people over and we'll make sure we put on a good show for them. And then 1 or 2 minutes before we're about to go, we could just see drops of people coming, and then when we walk on stage, the tent is just full, and I was like, wow, this is, we have something here. We have something.
I remember that. Yeah, we're all nudging each other.
Yeah.
Oh, we were like,
So that was,
especially because you're all relatively young lads and you've been at festivals as well. So you know when an act or a band is playing in one area and you're at another area, it usually is. Yeah, it's like running through the air. You leg to the.
It's a big ask, like, you know, if to try to get people in a festival in a kind of orderly fashion into another tent. Like you have to be doing something pretty significant to get them in.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially because at a festival there's so much on offer.
Yeah, exactly.
So when it actually does happen, it would mean a lot because you're not only competing with yourselves, you're competing with everyone else.
Everyone else,
else in it.
Yeah,
so,
and this was during the day as well. It wasn't like a nighttime slot, so it meant an awful lot.
Yeah, so there actually wasn't a huge crowd there. So the crowd you did get was that much more.
Yeah,
that much more.
For sure.
And in terms of like the new single "Oh Johnny," what was the inspiration behind that? Obviously, you've sang that from a child. Was it? Did you drive that, or was it?
Well,
some story this one.
That's a good story. My granny turned 100 years old.
No way, lovely.
Yeah. So
what's her name?
My granny's name, Mary.
How are you married?
Mary Conway.
Mary.
She got the letter from the president, the whole lot.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. But so as I was saying, we're a trad family, like come from a musical background. So the way we celebrated was we went to the pub, Rose's dad's pub in Tullamore, the brewery tap.
Festival
out to the brewery.
Yeah, down. But yeah, we went there that night and we had a trad session, and that was one of the songs that was played was Banks of the Roses, and the two boys were there. And I remember noting on the night, it just slapped, you know, it just one of those songs that lifted the pub out of it. And we were all looking at each other like, some June. And then like a few days later, we were in the studio, we were just messing around, making a bit of a dance beat, and we made this dance beat, and I was like, oh, that's a good beat, yeah. And then we were kind of humming, singing, and then we were kind of singing Banks of the Roses over it, and we were kind of like, that kind of works, yeah. And we just put it down. We didn't think about it, and I mean, honestly, this took maybe an hour. Like, it was, we threw it down, made a video, put it on TikTok, and it just exploded. And
2 weeks later, we put up the full
on the
longer version.
Yeah, and then like the rest is history. Really, like it just went from there, and we seen the want for it, and we couldn't believe it. Like it was we had tried so many different types of releases and types of songs and everything, and
I don't think any of us would have caught it.
No,
Back to the Roses.
So, well, sometimes you don't know what Abbey wants.
Yeah, to be honest. So much you think they are now.
Oh, you think you do, but you haven't a clue.
Yeah. And even just to piggyback off that, obviously it seems like it was a quick turnaround, like within an hour, probably one of your shorter songs actually produced. Do you think the crowd intuitively know that that's organic rather than highly produced and being self-critical of yourselves, where sometimes you kind of just need to trust in yourselves and have less.
Yeah, 100%. For sure.
I think you can really feel that in a song when it hits like that. Like when you listen to Oh My Johnny, the elements in it there's not much in it. Like I think there's 5 things, like drums, bass, piano, banjo, vocal. Like that's it. There's no couple of bells and whistles, but there's nothing over the top. And it's just, I know, easy process. And
music always tricks you. You know, sometimes you think that has to be so complicated and you have to add this and that, and it's never done, and you spend weeks and weeks on a song, and then most of the time it's just do the basics well, and if it connects, it connects.
We have a song we had 21 versions of. Like, come on, I know the one.
No one knows it.
I think maybe stop after 3 or 4. Around the 3 or 4. Yeah.
So yeah.
What plans do you have? Do you have anything in the pipeline or anything coming down?
Well, as we said, like we were on that trad house. We are in that trad house vibe, so we have like tens and tens of songs there ready to go.
Yeah.
So
we'd hope for an album, a trad house album, trad house tour,
and then even on our socials like Instagram and TikTok, the comments are just, we want more trad house, give us another one, like we want more.
I think there's a comment with like 1,000 likes. It's like, you don't realise what you're doing here. Like this is like,
or what you stumbled upon.
And that's literally what it is. You stumbled upon.
The
most natural way.
Because as Ted said, music's never felt so right for us. We're not trying to put on anything. This is literally us. Like literally us.
But I think just stay to your core. As again, keep true north.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stay with your own values and do what music that you'd like to listen to.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than keep chasing Abbey. Abbey's going to be showing up at your gigs anyway. So
you're right.
It's time to look after yourselves.
You're right.
To look after
Appreciate
that. So of your journey so far, you seem to have a bit of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
What would be your one highlight in terms of gig? events?
Yeah, one high. I think selling out the Olympia is probably an achievement you'll be proud of for the rest of your life, really. So I think that's probably the highlight for me. Just the gig was amazing, but just to be able to say you've done that is very proud moment for us and our families.
Yeah. I think for me, when 2018 Longitude, I think was the Saturday night. We were headlining stage 2, and I think on the main stage was it Travis? Was it Travis that year, or
Yeah, it was ASAP, wasn't it?
or it was ASAP? Yeah, ASAP. And there was comments on Twitter were like when we were like, oh, we're headlining stage 2 same time as ASAP, and people were replying tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweed. Yeah.
Oh, totally. I forgot about that.
And the tent was rammed,
Yeah.
absolutely rammed. So that was a very proud moment, for sure.
What will you have coming up in the near future, and where can people keep an eye out across for any sort of announcements that may be coming in a couple of weeks?
For sure. We have a couple of festivals coming up. There's one in Tipperary and there's one in Mayo. You can find out when and where on our socials at Chasing Abbey on everything, and then we are announcing a few shows as well.
Also a headline show, so
Keeps
in the loop.
being finalised now. We have a big headline show announcement coming soon.
So yeah.
Lovely. You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Literally,
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having us. Really enjoyed that.
You gents.
Yeah,
I wish you
very much.
nothing but the best.
Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
And I'm sure you don't need luck, but best of luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all for us here today. Thanks very much.